What we're doing today is we're doing Spring Your Home into Action. And why are you here? You want to find out more about if your home has been sick, if your house has gotten sick over the winter. A lot of people don't realize that you can live in a sick house. You hear that sometimes. I have a sick home. Okay? So that's what we're going to find out today if your home, and I'm going to show you how to find out if your home has been sick or gotten sick over the winter. Who should be here? Homeowners, renters, property managers, anybody who's interested in real estate, who owns real estate, lives in real estate, anything like that. What will you be learning from this presentation? You're going to learn how to check around your property and find the problems that may have occurred over the winter during those months, the skills which you will need to help reduce everyday stress. A lot of people say, what do you mean everyday stress? How many times have you gone to work and worried about a pipe that was leaking in the basement before you got to work? Or you saw a spot on the roof where water was coming in through your roof because it had a leak in it. So instead of being progressive at work, you're worried about trying to find a roofer or somebody to come in and hoping that the roof hasn't caved in by the time you got home. So that's what when it says reducing stress and ownership and maintaining or meeting the high cost of energy, we're going to be talking about that as well, showing you how to reduce your electric bills, your gas bills, your water bills. So like I said, it's for everybody, not just for the landlords and the tenants or the homeowners, also for renters, because they need to save money too. What kind of skills do you need to have, and what skills will you need? I tell people the main skills you're going to need to have are these two fingers right here. I call this the two-finger workshop, because most of the things I'm going to show you today are things that you can do with these two fingers. Okay? Does that sound pretty hard? Everybody got two fingers, right? Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to show you how you can do things with these two fingers. You're going to see me use them a lot too, so that way you can take notes on how I did it. Okay? All right. But before we get started, when you think about spring your home into action, one of the things you have to do is be able to spring your body in action. Because remember, over the winter time, what do we have? Two of the biggest meals of the year, right? Thanksgiving and Christmas. And when we have Thanksgiving and Christmas, a lot of times we look like the lady up there and the young man up there on the left. And by the time springtime comes, we're so out of shape, or we may have gotten, our body may have gotten sick. So what we need to do is maybe make a doctor's appointment and try to make sure that we're able to use these two fingers, or climb a ladder, or go under a house, or whatever it takes, so that way, if this is well, then we can take care of the sick house. If this isn't well, there's nothing we can do about the sick house, because we've got to take care of our sick bodies. So this is the first home we need to take care of. Going to the doctor, making sure fruits and vegetables, vitamins, exercise, whatever it takes, so that way you're ready to be able to be fit to go into that house and do the things I'm going to be showing you that you need to do. Spring your home into action, the agenda. What we're going to be talking about is the tools, gathering your tools, plans for help that you're going to need, establishing a timeline, because we have it's June now? So we have all the way till what? When do we start getting winter? November, December, October? So that gives us quite a few months to be able to spring our home into action and look for those things, and then start preparing for the winter again. But at least if you spring your home into action now, by the time winter comes, you've met a lot of the problems that may have occurred, and it'll reduce it going into the following winter. We're going to look at exterior conditions, your basement conditions, specialty items, ducts and other sealing areas in your basements and in your walls, garage conditions, and we're just going to talk about doing inspections and more information about some of the upcoming workshops we're going to be doing with the council member. And again, before I start, I want to thank him for inviting me here today and allowing me to come and present to you guys. Gathering your tools and resources. Binoculars. A lot of times people will come out and they say, you need to spring home into action, or you need to check out your house, and they break out the ladder and they're climbing the ladder and getting up on the roof and looking at the roof. Are you guys planning to do that? I didn't think so, and I don't do it myself, not anymore. What I do is I tell people to get a pair of binoculars, okay? A pair of binoculars, you can walk around that property and look at that property, up on the roof areas, along the gutters, at the chimney. All those things you can see with a pair of binoculars without having to set foot on the roof, on a ladder. Then I tell them, get a camera. Most of your digital cameras nowadays, they have zoom lenses on them. So when you looked on this side of the roof and you saw a couple of shingles sticking up on your roof, zoom in, take a picture of that. So that way, when you go to the hardware store, or if you decide to get a contract or whatever it is you're going to do to get that repaired, you can show them the picture. So that way they can kind of judge how much deterioration you have on the roof, or how many shingles you're going to need. Walk around the roof, you look at your chimney, you look at your gutters, take those pictures. And then that way, you have pictures that you can show that person, whoever's going to do the work, without them having to come out and look at the property. You can email them the pictures, or whatever the case may be. You're going to need a flashlight because you may have some crawl spaces or attics or things like that. Tools, hammers, nails, screwdriver, measuring tape. You're going to need a measuring tape because you may see areas where you need to measure and give them a size after you take that picture. You're going to get a pad and pencil. I don't have a pad and pencil up there, but you're going to need that because you're going to write notes, because you're going to use those two fingers. You're going to write those notes and take those pictures, so that way the pictures go with your notes, and you can able to say, this is what I saw, and here's a picture of it. And then that way they can see everything that needs to be done. A little step ladder for looking up in areas. And then we're going to talk about some of these things here as well as what you may be using in the house once we get into the interior. Planning for the help that you're going to need. Somebody to hold a ladder. That's something good. You want to have somebody, so this way you're not going up and down the stairs to check the meters or check the breakers. Have somebody here to help you. And even use your cell phone if possible. So that way if they're in the basement, you can talk to them on the cell phone and find out, okay, I just hit this breaker. What lights went out in the upstairs? Or what water, how did the water look when I turned this knob? Or, you know, whatever the case may be. But you want to have some help around to help you doing some of those things. Establish a timeline. Like I said, we're in June right now. Determine when you want to get that stuff started. So that way you're not going into winter and it's too late. So if you start now, walk around that property looking for those areas, you got all of June, July, you can get somebody in there. That still gives you plenty of time in August as well to go through that property with your property here.